Thanks for staying tuned into Vegucation. We are talking about your water. We talked about the water that you drink, but what about the water that you use for everything else? And we didn't talk about your refrigerator. So some refrigerators come with filtration systems. I know we touched on that. But one thing that I wanted to ask you is, what about ice? How do you know if your ice is tap water ice, frozen tap water, or if it's filtered?
If you have a newer fridge, so most of the new fridges, all of their ice is going to go through that filtration system, so you're fine. But if you are filling your ice cube trays, like a lot of us did back in the day, I know I filled my fair share and still fill some, because my husband loves those big whiskey balls, and we don't have the new fancy fridge yet that makes them. So I definitely...
Fridges that make whiskey ball ice?
Yes. Girl, it is on my bucket list.
A fancy schmancy
fridge
life goal.
Yeah.
I love it.
You just drop it in your cup.
So if the fridge itself comes with a filtration system, then you can trust that the ice that's produced by the fridge is also filtered. Now, if the fridge produces the ice, but there's no filtration system, it's just frozen tap water.
Correct.
And so if you've gone to the EWG website, you know what's in the water, because now we have made you aware.
We've pointed it out.
Yes. So, okay, what about water for cooking? When you make your soups or whatever it is that you're using your water for, do you use it straight from the tap? Do you recommend using your filtered water? What do you think?
Yeah, so again, even if I'm making a smoothie, I'm always going over and using the Berkey water.
Okay.
It is a challenge, right? Because you have to fill the Berkey and then empty, right? So if it is empty and you're going to cook and you're like...
Oh, you have to wait for it to filter,
You
obviously.
have to wait for it to filter, so that can be a little strenuous.
Procrastinators, just, don't wait to the last minute.
But one of the things you can do is buy some distilled water to have on hand.
Okay.
And then you could cook with that instead of waiting.
Now, we use water for other things too, right? Not just for cooking. When we talked about showering.
Yes.
So tell me, because this is not anything that I would ever think about, the water we absorb in our skin, like how that affects our body.
But what's the largest organ on our body?
It would be the skin, Coach.
Correct. So where do you think we're taking the most contaminants from water?
Probably when we take a bath or a shower.
And how many showers did you take yesterday?
Or when the water from the toilet splashes up. If that's ever happened, you're absorbing some things there.
For sure. How many showers did you take yesterday?
2.
Correct.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't love when you bring me into my reality.
So my favorite filter on the market, we're going to put up right here, but it's Pristine Hydro. They have an amazing shower filter.
Okay.
It's going to filtrate everything out. And everyone that I've switched over to a water filter, their skin's better. Their hair's better. Everything is better, and they notice a huge difference from it when they go other places and have to shower in non-filtered. Just like if somebody had hard water and now they have soft water, they're going to notice a huge difference as well.
What about hand washing? Does it make a big deal if you wash your hands with filtered or not filtered water?
I mean, you don't want to be completely crazy, right? Because we want to live our life.
You don't want to filter every sink in that.
Yes. But I would say on average, people probably overwash their hands, right? So we want to build up a really good bacteria here. And, with everything that we've gone through with the pandemic and everyone was using hand sanitizers and, harsh antibacterial, well, you want bacteria. You want to be able to fight off those things that you're coming into contact with. And if you're killing all your good and bad bacteria, you're left with negatives.
Okay. When you talked about the shower filters, tell me the brand again, because I forgot.
Berkey?
No, the shower water filter.
Oh, shower.
Yes.
Pristine Hydro.
Pristine Hydro.
Yes.
So for someone like myself, balling on a budget.
Yes.
Is that something where you have to call in your local handyman and he has to install it, or is it something that's easy for you to install? How does it work?
Yeah, it can be really easy for you. I mean, if you're married,
tell your husband to do it.
Or your partner.
Or your wife.
Or your wife, whichever one is the handiest. Or this would be a really amazing thing. I always know for me, I love to call in a good handyman if Jay's taking too long. So I'm like, how can I spend some more money?
Yes.
Call them in, but it's really, really easy, and it's pretty affordable. I think it's less than $200, so it's not going to break the bank either, which I love.
Okay, and I would assume they're long-lasting, because when I think about a water filter, my mind goes to filtering the water that you drink.
Yes.
I don't know what the capacity is for a shower filter.
Yeah, so About a year, depending on how bad your water is. But again, there are some areas, some places that are going to have worse water. You're going to go through it more quickly.
Yeah.
I think about our air doctor, which I know we're going to talk about filtering your air in your house.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole episode coming up on that. But when I think about my air doctor and the filter already went out, Jay was like, this was supposed to last for blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it's doing its job.
Yeah.
You don't want to get mad at it for doing its job.
Can I just tell you, when you first talked about your air doctor, I had never heard of one. And I literally thought this woman had an actual human doctor who came into her house and tested her air and was having consults with her about whether her air in her home was good quality or bad quality.
That is life goals for me to have my own air doctor. Can you please check this room before I enter?
So an air doctor is an air filtration unit, not a person.
And it is a mobile one, which is nice because you can move it throughout your house if you're working in your office, bedroom at night. I highly recommend it for kids, especially kids who have allergies and really, really struggle.
Okay, nice. Awesome. So we got into a lot of topics about water.
Definitely.
As always, I learned a ton. We're going to take a little break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about supplements and what Leia uses at home, what I use at home. I'm really proud because a lot of mine are Coach Leia approved. I appreciate that. And we'll get into that and more when we come back right here on Vegucation.